Hey, Holly, yeah, the Packers have 10 picks in this year's NFL draft. That's the third most of any team in this draft. They've also got a pick in every single round. And thanks to a free agent spending spree, Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst has some freedom to decide what to do with those picks. Yeah, that's right, Reese. The Packers will likely want to address the safety position or bolster up that offensive line, which we know would make Aaron Rodgers a very happy quarterback. But the Packers could also possibly look to draft a tight end, a wide receiver, a linebacker, or an edge rusher. Both these teams just coming onto the ice for warm-ups. The Pointers come into this game an impressive 27-0-2. The Pointers need just 2 more wins to make D3 hockey history. Now the path to a title game won't be easy, though. The Statesmen you see here behind me, they beat SUNY Oswego 3-2 in the quarterfinal game to make it to this point. Now coming into this game, they had a 21-7-2 record. Texas Tech, Virginia, Auburn, Michigan State. 4 teams all vying for the biggest prize in college basketball. None of them representing the state of Wisconsin. So who should you, a Wisconsinite, cheer for during the rest of this year's NCAA tournament? Why not try Virginia? And here's why. It's because of this guy, Virginia head coach Tony Bennett, and his father, legendary coach Dick Bennett. Both men have roots right here in north central Wisconsin. Dick was the head coach for the UW-Stevens Point men's basketball team for 9 seasons between 1976 and 1985. The Corton Quant Fieldhouse was dedicated to the elder Bennett and his brother Jack back in 2009.
They are what we would call the family of basketball in Wisconsin, right? They've been an amazing influence on both sides of the ball. You know, they're just, if you talk Wisconsin basketball, you start with the Bennett family. From there, Dick became the coach at UW Green Bay. Tony joined him as a player in 1988 and still holds the NCAA Division I record for career three-point field goal accuracy to this day. Dick then went on to coach at Wisconsin in 1995, with Tony joining him as an assistant 4 years later. Dick led the Badgers to the Final Four in 2000. 19 years later, his son has led the Cavaliers to their own Final Four appearance, making them just the second father-son duo in history to coach teams to the Final Four.
And they asked him, is this one of the greatest feelings that you've ever had, getting to the Final Four? And he said this, he said, from a feeling state, euphoria, yes it is, but it doesn't compare with faith, with kids, family, grandkids. He said, because I know what truly matters, it enables me to enjoy what seems to matter like this. I've remembered that quote, and I've tried my best to live by it.
Come on, how can you not like this guy? So if you're looking for a team to root for, why not give the Virginia Cavaliers a shot? Because, let's face it, your bracket's already busted anyway. Reporting in Wausau, Bailey Harbit, News Channel 7 Sports. For most of the day, the Lac du Flambeau multi-purpose building sits unoccupied, silent. But when 5 o'clock rolls around, fists start to fly. For a few hours a day, boxers both old and young come here to train. Some are just starting out, but others, like Jerome Tomes, have been at it for longer than they can remember.
I was kind of the kid that got picked on a little bit, I guess. For a while, I was kind of smaller than everybody. I don't know, I kind of had some older brothers that I looked up to. Well, not older brothers, one was an uncle. But they were kind of my brothers, so I looked up to them, and I kind of got in the habit of wanting to do that kind of stuff.
The Flambeau Indians boxing team has produced state Golden Glove winners and regional Golden Glove qualifiers. They frequently go toe-to-toe with nationally ranked boxers. Some, like 14-year-old Alex Brisk, are nationally ranked themselves. In January, Brisk competed in the National Silver Gloves Tournament in Kansas City.
I got pretty nervous because there was people from all around the nation coming, and they were supposed to be the best, but I lost my first fight. But I still got ranked 6th in the nation.
But the coaches and boxers here say there's more to it than winning bouts and belts.
This is a positive place where the goal is becoming healthy.
I think it's one of the greatest things that we can have on this reservation right now, because there's a lot of bad things going around, bad influences in town, and it just kind of, along with the frustration part, getting rid of your frustrations, it just gets you away from using all the drugs and, you know, just getting in trouble with the law.
Boxing can be an expensive sport. The coaches here often pay for team expenses out of pocket and through fundraisers. But it's all worth it to see their fighters compete and make the most of the opportunities that come their way long after the final bell.
When I step in the ring, I go in there to win, obviously, but all that matters is I stepped in the ring.
At a gym in Eagle River, Wisconsin fullback Austin Ramish is preparing for his chance at a career in the NFL.
I decided right now with my life that I want to try and play in the NFL, so I'm just going to go all in with that. It's not just going to happen. There's a lot of big months coming ahead and stuff, so I'm just going to work as hard as I can to create an opportunity for myself, and hopefully it goes the right way.
In just 9 days, the former News Channel 7 All-Star will play in the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl, his final game as a college athlete.
Hopefully I use the fullback. If not, I'll try and get on the field. Maybe as like an H-back or tight end or something. Play a lot of special teams and just kind of try and stand out in practices and in the game.
Wisconsin's season of success allowed Ramish to display talents he's had since his days at Northland Pines to a much wider audience.
There's a lot of exposure that comes with playing on a team like Wisconsin, and I was just lucky enough to be on the field at a lot of times this year.
And practicing against the stellar Wisconsin defense has only made him better.
I always say I get to practice against one of the best defenses in the country every day, so that helped a lot even before the season started.
Even though he's got his eyes firmly fixed on the future, there are still things he says he'll miss about playing for the Cardinal and White.
At fullback, number 20, Austin Ramish.
Playing at Camp Randall, I'd say my best memory is the first time I ran out of the tunnel, with my family there, and that was a pretty emotional game. Even though I didn't play, I was redshirting, but I'll probably never forget that.
But if Ramish has any say, he'll run out of a tunnel once again, but as a player in the NFL. Reporting in Eagle River, Bailey Harbit, News Channel 7 Sports.
Bailey Harbit joins us now with the latest on Rogers' condition. Bailey?
Dale head coach Mike McCarthy said in a news conference today that the team is still gathering information about Rogers' knee injury. He wouldn't say what the injury was and said no decision has been made about Rogers' status for this week. No, that's the thing. It was kind of shocking for a lot of people, but like you said, writing really on the wall on this one. Packers president and CEO Mark Murphy explained the decision to do so in his press conference today, saying he would have liked to have waited until after the season was over, but yesterday's performance was unacceptable and was the final nail in the coffin. Well, Heather, it was really that game on Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals. They were favorites in that game and ended up losing 20-17 to Arizona at Lambeau, something that they hadn't done all season. Mark Murphy, president and CEO of the Packers, called the team's performance unacceptable. How many high school kids can say, yeah, like, I have a sandwich named after me? Like, no big deal or anything. I mean, I don't even have a sandwich named after me. I'm a little jealous. I'm not going to lie. If there's any restaurant out there that wants to name a sandwich after me, shoot me an email. We'll work something out.
The Bailey.
The Bailey. My parents would be so proud. I think that's like the first time in quite a while when we've asked that question and it hasn't been Post Malone. So way to go, Haley. I really dig it.
Really expanding things there for us.
Isn't he a clothing designer? J. Cole?
I think you're thinking of J. Crew.
Oh.
Those are a little bit different. Yes, and it's something that we thought we were maybe going to have to deal with for this show. So I actually spent about an hour and a half, 2 hours drawing my highlights out. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, we actually will have video. You can see here, this is Marcus Howard.
This is Marquette versus Murray State.
Yes, you can tell this is Marcus Howard because he has a beard. John Morant has a mustache. So that's how you tell those apart.